Well, I want to thank all you all for coming out here for my father. It means a lot to me. My dad did 2 tours in Vietnam. He only had to do one. He was an 0848. He was an artilleryman. His urn's over there on that table. That's a 75 millimeter round that he fired in Vietnam, and he had it made into a spittoon. I put a lid on it. He wanted to put his ashes in there, but you can't fit 8 pounds of ashes into a 75 millimeter casing. Yeah, my Marines are more family to me than family. What this is really about, guys, is and ladies, is a lot of Marines come back home and they don't have anybody. My dad, when he came home, they spit on him. They treated him like a second-class citizen. And without this brotherhood of Marines, you know, a lot of guys wouldn't know what to do. And so
and it's not just Marines. I mean, it's everybody. The biker community is a very special community. And as you can see, the great Leviathan, the state, always wants to target anyone who wants freedom. And so this episode is dedicated to the bikers and the outlaw bikers and their lifestyle, so you can learn a little bit about them as opposed to the disinformation that has been spread by the for-profit news media and by a lot of law enforcement agencies who really just don't know what they're talking about. And so we're going to get into a little bit. I got permission from my buddy Zos the Ghost over at Demon's Row, and we're going to share some video from him, and then we're going to get into a little bit more about the biker lifestyle. But first, I want to go ahead and kick this off, and of course, I'll say hi to everybody in the sidebar. You know how we do it.
To another edition of Ask Michael Eline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel.
All right, so a lot of you people are probably saying, what the heck is this guy talking about? My name is Michael Eline. I am a lawyer. I'm licensed in Texas and California, and I do civil rights, personal injury law. I do some criminal defense, and I do appellate work, even do work comp, you know, pretty much anything that has to do with injury and being recompensed for injuries. And I have noticed over my lifetime a degradation of our individual liberties, rights, and freedoms, in particular with the Second Amendment, being able to defend your family. And then now we see in California with the so-called Safety Act, where parents are having their rights stripped away by Bonta and Gavin Newsom. And I wanted to, you know, show you some alternative lifestyles, because I'm always talking to you guys about forming a parallel system of like-minded patriotic people, so you don't have to participate in this current system that goes against the values that we hold dear, especially us veterans. And so at the beginning, I showed you a little bit about the memorial ceremony for my father. So forgive me if I get a little bit emotional about this, but he was not allowed to have a funeral because the government shut down the Riverside's Veteran Memorial. So as a result, I had met these bikers at this biker club. I'm sorry, not at a biker club, in Redondo Beach at a bar when I was with my wife and kids. They were outside, and I had my boonie cover on. I walked up to them, shook their hands. They gave me their business card. Lo and behold, years later, I would call them because we couldn't get a ceremony for my dad. So these bikers held a ceremony for him at a gun club. And that's what you heard, all those gunshots going off at that video footage. I'll just play some of this for you.
Stories about prospecting for a motorcycle club, from drinking piss to getting dragged by motorcycles. Many fear or don't understand why someone would put themselves through this to join a motorcycle club. I'm going to show you 8 things you should know about prospecting for an MC. Let's get into it.
Ghost is super cool. I like this guy.
Number one, if you ask when you will be fully patched, they will add time. If you're prospecting for a motorcycle club, never ask.
All right. So why does that matter? So because America, I just want to give you the reasons why I think that bikers and their lifestyle are more pro civil rights than law enforcement and a lot of politicians who have circumvented our Constitution. And here is one example. In order to be in a motorcycle club, it's purely based on merit. And we're taught in the administrative, academia, the educational industrial complex now that merit is racist and that it's bad and that everybody should get a trophy. And give me a bunch of ones if you guys know what I'm talking about. They call it wokeism. And so the counter argument against wokeism would be like the biker lifestyle or the military lifestyle, and well, they're saying the military's woke now too, but you guys in the sidebar know what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and say hi to everybody in the sidebar. So good seeing you, Chevy. Good seeing you, Watkins. The classic one. Yeah, Kurt Bronson. I'm always glad that you guys come and join me. And look, I know that today's show's probably not going to be like a real big shoe. I know it's late, but guys, I've been getting up at like 0:30 and working until now. And so I'm just now able to get online. So hopefully, my other Team FPE members will want to come and join me, for a replay tomorrow. So I don't see Gloria here and a lot of my other regulars. I didn't have a chance to even notice this thing this morning, so forgive me. But I just wanted to point out that prospecting is something that you do in order to try to get into a motorcycle club. So it's about building trust. And there are different types of motorcycle clubs, of course, and they're like rider clubs, but then there are MCs, which are more organized and things like that. We're not going to get into all that right now. But then you got your outlaw, your 1%ers, and they're super, super strict, many people say. But then you have the bikers like the guys in the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club. They're not an outlaw club. They're not a 1%er club. The original Leathernecks are not. But they're Marines. And so naturally I'm a supporter of that club because, they're Marines and they supported my father. So they were able to set up something at a gun range. None of us wore those silly, stupid face masks, which we now know were never necessary and that Fauci just was full of garbage. And so it was just like an amazing thing. And we all got to shoot afterwards. We had some targets that resembled Jane Fonda, which was really fun. And, we had my dad's urn there, which I had custom made for him. He actually had it custom shaped when he was in Saigon. That was a 75 canister. And, but I had it custom polished and I made a top for it with a 5.56 round on the top. That's why it looked probably weird to you. So we'll get into this a little bit more, but everybody in the sidebar, give me some comments if you know what I'm talking about. Like a merit-based system, that's something that we're falling away from, right? Like they're trying to say that math is racist, that the bar exam is too hard, and so it shouldn't be based on merit, but based on your portfolio. So they're trying to get away from having an exam. And we're just seeing a constant lowering of standards with the judiciary and law enforcement and just public servants, just like rock bottom, like IQ of about -50. And it's just going to get worse, guys. And so the only way, I keep telling you, that you're going to have any kind of way to survive in a system like that, like an idiocracy type system, is to form parallel systems. And so that's something that I'm always going to talk about, homesteading, homeschooling. These are ways that you can protect your children from the administrative state. So let's get into a little bit more. And by the way, everybody, I want you to like and subscribe to Zos the Ghost over at Demon's Road. This guy is really cool. Some of the best videography I've ever seen. And I just really like his mentality, his attitude. I believe that he was a biker. I think he is a biker, but I believe he was an outlaw motorcycle. But I think now he's an independent, like he's on his own. But super cool guy. And because of his status as not being aligned to any club, it's interesting, because he'll get interviews with clubs that don't like each other, but yet they sort of give him a pass. So it's kind of cool to see that. He holds a very unusual place in the MC community that I've never seen anybody hold, to be quite honest. So I want y'all to give Zos the Ghost a shout out, because we ghost him, baby.
Your sponsor or your president when you will be fully patched. In a traditional MC, they will not tell you, but they will tack on extra months to your prospect phase, or when you come up for a vote, certain club members will vote against you. Be patient. Now, some clubs will fully patch you in seconds. There are clubs out here that are so thirsty for numbers, they'll put a patch on anybody so they could get those dues running every month. A good way to know if you're in a solid club is how fast they fully patch people. That will show you what that club is all about. Growth is a
Right. And so that's also about the American way, right? So it used to be that we would stand in line and we would apply to become American citizens if we were from another country, right? And you'd have to take a test. You'd have to prove your allegiance to the country, right? You guys remember this? This happened just a few short years ago, prior to this last president just flooding our country with illegal aliens. It used to be people had to earn their way in, and that's another part of the merit-based system that we're losing. Because you don't appreciate the fruits of being an American if you just come here and immediately get a free cell phone, a free hotel, and get welfare money from the government. That's not the way that you appreciate this country. The way you appreciate it is you learn skills from your country, you apply to become an American, you go through the process, and you earn your way in. And that's what he's talking about. So the longer it takes, the better. And, I'll tell you something else. That's something that attracts me to the Marine Corps over all the other branches, is the fact that the Marine Corps does not give away medals for free, and they certainly don't promote very easily. You'll see, corporals fill in the roles of sergeants. You'll see sergeants fill in the roles of staff NCOs. You'll see privates fill in the roles of corporals, especially if they have combat action ribbons and they've seen combat. So it's all merit-based, and we're seeing the Marine Corps falling away from that merit-based system, and we're seeing our government and our country fall away from that merit-based system. And I believe that the more merit-based in thinking you are, the better of a civil rights thinker you are. Because in order to have civil rights, you have to uphold the rights of others. And only an educated populace can do that. And it's not upholding your rights when you're forced to pay for all of your neighbors' indiscretions and illegal activities and plastic surgeries and everything else that they want to do. And so what these guys are saying is, no, you have to earn it. You have to stand in line and you have to earn it. And that's part of being an American. So let's keep on going.
great thing. But anything that happens too fast, it's always a shit show. Number 2, club events will not be fun for you. If you're prospecting for a motorcycle club and you're going to an annual event or to a clubhouse, understand you will not be having fun. You're either going to be working the bar or playing security for the girls that are working the bar, cleaning up messes, handling food or drinks, going to the store to get ice or drinks or whatever's needed. A cheat code that we used to do with all our prospects so they don't get scattered all around an event is we will put them on security detail for the vice president and let him shadow the VP like he's doing security for the VP. So this way brothers don't, pull them all over the annual. Sometimes they'll argue about that. Why do you need the security for an actual brother in our own event? Sometimes it causes issues, but it is a cheat code. So go in there with the mindset, I'll party when I'm fully patched. Number 3, don't compare yourself to other prospects.
All right. So fully patched, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that just means that you've earned your middle and your top rocker. Like, typically when you're a prospect, you get like a bottom patch that'll say, California or, wherever you're from. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys know what I'm talking about, because I don't want to have to explain this to everyone. I'm assuming most of you guys on this channel are familiar with the outlaw bike lifestyle. If you're talking to me, you're probably into the outlaw lifestyle. So let's see here. Hey, Avilia, love you. Good seeing you, Avilia. Avilia says, keep sharing, you guys. Come on, press that like and subscribe button. Hit that like and subscribe button. And by the way, guys, I wanted to update you. We know that it appears as though Chili's DeCastro from Delete Laws should be getting released sometime in July. We're praying. And so I am trying to organize like a party for him, like a welcome back party, probably in Nevada, maybe Las Vegas. So if any of you guys have any ins with any casinos or anything like that, where we can have like a reasonably secure area, because, probably every troll on YouTube is going to want to show up and cause trouble. By the way, keep in mind, guys, all you YouTube trolls, if you do try to do that, Nevada is a constitutionally protected right to keep and bear arms state. So people can open carry here legally pretty much anywhere, and it's not that hard to get a concealed carry. So think twice if you want to cause mayhem or trouble, because people here won't take kindly to it, and that will defend themselves. Now, let's get back into this a little bit.
You're prospecting for an MC, never compare yourself to other prospects. Everybody's story is different. I've seen prospects go way harder than another, and they get fully patched before them. And that's because of who referred them, how high up on the food chain they were, who they're related to. There's a lot of politics when it comes into that. Also, if you're a member that you never been in a club before, you know nothing about the culture. So if there's another prospect that he came from a motorcycle club and he was in that club for years, he has a lot of experience. So he has a basic knowledge of the culture.
Yeah, and that's kind of like think of it this way: if somebody wanted to apply to be an American citizen, let's say they already served in the U.S. military, it seems like they should go to the front of the line, right? They've got more time in grade. They know about our culture, and they want to become Americans. When in Rome, do as Romans do. Right now, they're basically just flooding the country with people who are from different cultures, and they're not being forced to assimilate. And we see that multiculturalism doesn't work. We see how it's completely destroyed France and parts of Europe. Look at the United Kingdom. I mean, give me a break. So think about that.
So he is more ready to be a fully patched member. But it's not like a make you wait punishment type thing. It's about learning about the club. How can you walk around fully patched like I'm this and you don't know anything about the club? So that's what it really is. It's not about hazing. It's not about putting you down and making you lesser. It's preparing you to be a fully patched member out on these roads. Because once you're fully patched, there's no excuses. There's no, I didn't know. You prospect until you know. Number 4, don't start acting like a fully patched member. I remember a time where I was a sergeant of arms and the VP and another officer proceeded to bring in multiple numbers of prospects and even a hang around to basically put the president on trial. Like they were trying to have a little mock trial. I didn't realize it at first, but as soon as I realized that they kept lining people up, I shut that shit down. Until you're a fully patched member, your voice does not count. I remember a sponsor, a fully patched member who was in charge of all the prospects, was giving the prospects some heat, and then he was getting on a hang around. Now the hang around proceeded to come to the table and tell everybody that it wasn't true what the brother was saying. So to teach everyone a lesson, I made an example out of him. I said, let me ask you a question very calmly. So he said, yeah, he was thinking I was going to go along with it. I said, are you saying that my brother is a fucking liar? And he looked at me confused. Oh no, that's not what I'm saying. I said, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Simple question. You just said that what he said is false. So I'm asking you, did you just say that my brother is a fucking liar? So I told him, don't you ever disrespect this table and come to this table like you earned the right to speak at this table. Now go outside.
Yeah, so you see that, right? Think about that. That's like part of being an American too. If you want to join us at the table and be an American like us and contribute to the system, then you should come here legally and do it the right way. You know, pass the test, learn how to pledge allegiance to the flag, and do all the things that make America a great place. And absorb yourself into the American life instead of trying to bring a different type of culture here. And by forming parallel systems, like I've always preached to you guys, you can do something similar to what bikers do. And bikers aren't all bad, as you can see. They're very loyal. They have a very tightly knit system. And I'm going to get into some of the other things that bikers do that make them more pro civil rights than you can probably imagine. Number 1, bikers support the concept of being armed because they may have to do violence sometime, and because they may have to defend themselves. And that's something that all Americans, it's part of their birthright from the Second Amendment, defense of self and defense of others. It's ingrained in our very DNA as Americans. And bikers are just maybe more of an extreme version of that because they're all men, testosterone filled, and they come from the time of post-war periods after World War II, and then again after Vietnam. bikers became the place where the real men, the super hard men of loyalty. And of course, we always hear stories about, well, you know, they're this, they're that. But the bottom line is they do support being able to defend themselves. And of course, we know they're always being attacked for that very reason. And also, they have to be completely loyal. So that's something that I wanted to share with you, is bikers have to be completely loyal to their club. There can be no shenanigans, as should all Americans be loyal to their fellow Americans. But that doesn't mean you have to be loyal to your politicians. You can be ashamed of your politicians and be loyal to your country. And so all of you people who are you know, when academics try and shame you and things like that, well, you have a right to be upset and you have a right of protest. And the ultimate form of protest is remaining silent. And so one of the things that the biker community is all about is they don't want to talk to police. And so this is the main reason why I wanted to share this video today is, well, number one, because I really like Zos the Ghost videos, man. Demons Row is a badass channel. And I wanted to figure out a way to get some of my audience to watch his stuff, obviously, because it's really good. I mean, his video is sick. I'm not endorsing him. I'm not being paid. Okay. I'm not getting any kind of anything out of this other than I just really like this guy's videography. I like his attitude. And I think that he personifies that American John Wayne mentality, which I think is just cool. You know, the Clint Eastwood kind of deal. And let's take a look over here. Hey, what's up, Dawood? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, Villiath. Yeah, tell him to like and subscribe. Yeah, and now Brett's saying there are quite a few thin blue line bikers. Well, listen, on Demons Row, the channel that we're looking at right now, Zos has a video about law enforcement motorcycle clubs, and so go check it out. Maybe I'll do a lawyer reaction on it. That's something. Yeah, that would be an interesting one, actually. Like, you know, outlaw law enforcement. It's kind of weird, but you know, we've seen that, right? We see like the popularization. We see like cops and judges and public servants trying to get jobs at CNN and trying to get a big following on Instagram or Twitter, more concerned about being popular than they are about their roles as public servants. We see that happening all the time, right, guys? Give me a bunch of ones if you guys see that. By the way, everybody, make sure that you remember and don't forget about overturning Terry versus Ohio. So I will have some upcoming videos for my audience about that within the next couple of days. So I really do appreciate everybody supporting me and coming out to the channel, and a BZ and everybody showing up to say hi. Thank you, guys. Wolverines. Yeah, I love it. And B Smith says the pledge is stupid. And I understand that. Again, you don't have to pledge allegiance to the flag, but I think that it's a cool way of showing your allegiance to your fellow Americans. I mean, let's put it this way. If we were attacked tomorrow by a foreign power from outside, we would all unite against that power as Americans. We would pledge allegiance to each other. That would just happen automatically. Right now, we're just totally divided and ripped apart because of the politicization of this illegal immigration and the war on parents, parental rights, and the way that's being framed. Just really scary stuff going on out there. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. Now, actually, you should plan to lead you to the flag because my dad fought in the Korean War. I think that's awesome. And I think that military people, you're going to find a lot of them in the motorcycle clubs, whether it's a military motorcycle club like the Leathernecks, or it's just for example, the Hells Angels, my understanding is they were either air crew or pilots of B-17 bombers in World War II. And I believe that symbol, that Hells Angels head with the angel's head, the skull with the angel wings on it, that is, I believe that was on a B-17 bomber. If anybody knows, put it in the comments in the sidebar. I'd like to know if anybody knows what the exact story. I know there's some other versions about where the angels were founded too. I've heard some people say that it was San Bernardino, and I've heard other people say it was in another area. I don't know, but yeah. So the history is really cool too, because the biker culture is pure American, man. You can't get more American than biker clubs, right, guys? Give me a bunch of ones if you feel that way. But just enjoy this video with me, guys. I know it's not like the total typical law or cop video, but check it out and give some props to my buddy Zos the Ghost.
Because we need to talk. Now, normally I don't treat brothers like that, but I wanted everybody to know, listen, if you earn that fully patch, that's a respected position. Don't come in here and say my brother's a liar. Number 5, sometimes you got to stand your ground. Now, on the flip side, when you're prospecting for an MC, sometimes.
So, hey, you guys heard that, right? So sometimes you got to stand your ground, right? And that's what First Amendment auditors are all about. That's what Chili's all about, standing your ground. The problem is, if you don't have numbers and you don't have a parallel system, you don't have the appearance of strength. And because you don't have that, you look weak and like an easy target to these jackboot thugs, who just want to make an arrest, put you in handcuffs, put you in torture cuffs, throw you in the dungeon and take away all your money. That's what really happens in the real world. Now, you notice with these bikers, sole cops, as a general rule, are not going to mess with a gaggle of bikers. They will always want backup. As a general rule, bikers don't get messed with as much in some situations, and they get messed with too much in others. Like I saw an example that I wanted to show you guys tonight of some Hells Angels being harassed in Sturgis, where somebody was filming it. And I wanted to get into that too, about First Amendment auditors and how, if those guys hadn't been there, how much easier it would have been for these cops. I mean, they're really brazen. These cops are like getting in their faces, trying to take pictures with their cameras, and these guys are going like this, get the F away from me. Just really unsat the way these cops treated these Hells Angels. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show that to you guys sometime this week. Look, I really like focusing on topics like this because you have to understand something. It's the people among us all deserve freedom, and they deserve their rights of association. And labeling somebody and judging somebody by the color of the skin, the way they dress, or somebody or a club they belong to is un-American. Now, it's okay to say, yeah, these guys are tough, these guys are badasses, but motorcycle clubs aren't gangs. So that's something you guys need to understand too. There's just a bunch of misinformation and disinformation going out there. And the idea is to acclimate the American people, for these big corporations to acclimate the American people into thinking it's okay to discriminate against one segment of a population based upon some crazy notion that they're an oppressor, or that they're a victim, or that they're a gang member, or whatever it might be. And that is the goal, a division. And then the private prison system to keep it as full as possible. The average prisoner, 120 grand a year? That creates a lot of government jobs. That creates a lot of political campaign fund donations from police unions. And that is the real way it really works in the real system, guys. And that's why, again, I support forming parallel systems where we work with each other. Everybody in this sidebar should already be friends with each other and doing business with each other. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys are making a good faith effort to try and help each other's families through what we have left of our life on this planet. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing a little bit more because I really like this video. Give me a bunch of ones if you like Zos the Ghost video. Give me a bunch of twos if you don't. Not that it's going to stop me, but I at least would like to know if you think this is a cool video or not.
Times you got to hold your ground, and I mean with your own brothers. One time we're at an annual party and we're in another state. I think it was in Rhode Island, and a fully patched member from another chapter was drunk and acting a fool, stumbling around, a disgrace. So he bumps into one of the prospects from my chapter. Now the prospect was like, "You okay?" trying to hold them up because he's stumbling. The dude proceeds to start taking the prospect's vest off, like, "Oh, you're not built like that." And so I intervened. I stopped it and I said, "Listen, he's in our chapter. You don't have the right to touch his vest. You come to me. I'm the sergeant at arms of the chapter. You come to me if you have a problem with it. And if I see fit, then I can take his vest. You can't take his vest off him." So he's like, "No disrespect," or whatever. He knows.
Yeah, and this is pretty cool too. Sergeant at arms. So you can see it's sort of like pseudo military, where they have a sergeant at arms. They'll have a treasurer. They'll have a road captain, and the road captain's responsible to make sure like the prospects and everyone else is lined up properly and everyone's riding safely. And stuff like that. Really, really cool. You know, it's too bad that all these the traditional male testosterone tough guy seems to be fading away into the land of painted toenails for men. Give me a bunch of ones if you think that that's sad.
Knows he's drunk and he's out of pocket. So I pulled the prospect to the side and I'm like, listen, don't ever let someone take your vest off. And I know he thought it was a fully patched member and he had the right, but sometimes you got to stand your ground. 6, being sent on missions. If you're a prospect for a motorcycle club, you will be sent on missions. It could be as small as picking up stuff from the store to infiltrating a rival motorcycle club. One of the biggest clubs in the world is notorious for this. I've seen situations where a brother will prospect for your club, be in there for a year, get fully patched, out of nowhere, no issues going on, nothing. Out of nowhere, he's out the club, he needs whatever time, and a couple of months later, he's fully patched for that big club, and that club does not let anyone in easy like that. My man, he infiltrated your club. So they know everything that was said, they know where you stand, they know how you feel about them, all because you let that man in. So the most important thing, if you say something, be able to stand on it and be able to say it in that person's face, because there's a possibility that someone will tell them what you said. Number 7, shadowing enforcers. If you're a prospect, sometimes you will be asked to shadow a sergeant of arms or an enforcer during confrontations or disputes. This is where you show them where you are. This is how you show that you're built for this. This is where you let your nuts hang.
So you see those guys were slapping, it looked like they were slapping his colors, like his vest against him. And they do that in Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well. Some senseis do that, where they'll slap your back with your belt as you get promoted. So put a bunch of ones in the sidebar if you're familiar with that. I don't know if any of you guys were in the Marines, but when I got promoted to Lance Corporal, they pinned my Lance Corporal pins right here and stuck them into me. And then I proceeded, every NCO in the barracks proceeded to beat the crap out of my shoulders. And I got a hairline fracture right here. And I was completely black and blue for almost a month. Like I could barely move my arms. And I still had to, yeah, isn't that wild? Yeah. So that happens in pretty much any organization where they're trying to build a bonding relationship. It's the pain, the sacrifice, the joy. It's that experience. You know, they say that the joy is in the journey, you know, not the destination. And that's really what it's all about. That's when you put on your patch or you put on your Marine uniform or whatever, that's a symbol of pride because you earned the right to wear that. And that's, like I was saying earlier, part of being an American as well. And so part of being an American is also the right to remain silent. And bikers are all about that life. They're all about remaining silent. They're all about, almost like how the Amish are, where they're like, look, we have our own lifestyle. We're outlaws. We want to live outside your laws. And so there are ways that you can be, I mean, like basically if they see you out in public, they can beat you down. Now that's my understanding. Put it in the sidebar if you know what I'm talking about. And this really sounds a lot like the ancient Viking rules, the ancient Viking laws, the thing or the all thing, and those things, you know, those types of ceremonies, a trial by battle, or where they would just kick out you and your whole family and you'd be sent away. You'd be excommunicated or exiled. And that's kind of like how it is in the biker lifestyle. So they've carried over a lot of these traditions because shunning is the ultimate form of being rejected. And so as opposed to jail or anything else, being shunned by your brothers is such a big deal that it keeps you loyal. And we've seen some bikers go to jail for each other for life over stuff like this. We've seen others roll, but still the ones that were loyal, they were the ones who lived by their code. You can't judge the whole club by a few bad apples. Let's keep on going.
But don't be something you're not. And I don't care what anyone tells you. I'm going to tell you this from the heart. If you're not built like that, tell people. They'll give you shit for it. They'll give you a hard time. But guess what? It's better to tell them who you truly are than have every boot in that club shoved in your mouth. And many will say, do it even.
Yeah, so I just was looking over at BZ. So BZ, he's talking about when you get your blood stripe. So The Marine officers and non-commissioned officers rate having what's called a blood stripe, and it's that red stripe down our trousers. You'll notice that Lance Corporals, PFCs, and privates will not have a blood stripe, a red stripe down their trouser leg. But the tradition is, I don't know if they do it anymore in the Corps. They probably still do in like recon and infantry units, but probably not in the POG units. But when you get your blood stripe, basically, I've seen it done a couple different ways, but one promotion I saw, a corporal was going and he had to walk down a line of all the NCOs, and they kneed the crap out of his legs. And we've heard stories of guys having their thighs broken from that. So I know it might be a dumb tradition. I know that Bruce said it sounds like a dumb. Look, Bruce, I get it, brother, but look, everybody's got their traditions as part of being part of their parallel system that they have. Families are a parallel system. The problem is the more dependent we become on this Leviathan with all this Luciferian garbage they're throwing at our children and all over the news media, you have no choice. You have to separate yourself from that, right? But how do you do it? Where do you go? Well, a lot of you guys are here on my channel because you're like-minded. So that's one way you do it. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be supporting like-minded individuals who believe in the right to remain silent and self-defense. I mean, you should support a motorcycle club, for crying out loud. I mean, they're a dying breed, and they're not all. You don't have to join or support a 1%er club. I mean, there's plenty of motorcycle clubs and veterans clubs. I don't recommend a law enforcement motorcycle club because I think that it goes against the biker code. I think that if you're a motorcycle club, whether you're 1% or not, you're not going to be law enforcement. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with that. I think most of the 1%ers will agree with me. And I think most of the MCs that aren't law enforcement MCs would agree with me on that. So, it just makes sense. Hey, you took a job where your job is to lock up your fellow Americans, right? Come on. You can't expect people to accept you in an outlaw club that lives outside the same law that you're trying to enforce on them, right? So now let me see here. Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe, says Avilia. Let's get into this and check out some more of Zosa Ghost.
Even if you're not built like that, no, I disagree. Let them know who you are. Number 8, facing the final test. If you're prospecting for a motorcycle club and you did everything you're supposed to do and they deem you fit to be a fully patched member, some will face the final test. It could be as simple as some small fun challenge, or it could be something where you live in Chicago, you're in a Nomad charter, they tell you ride your bike to New York. If you get here in 14 hours, you'll be fully patched. If not, you get sent home empty-handed. If you do the math, it's a 12 to 13-hour trip. So if you get a call and it's 8 at night, if you leave right that second, you could be there in the morning at 8 or 9. Or it could be something where you walk the line and you get massive licks. Everyone hits you. I've seen ones where
Hey, so I heard one. I think it was George Christie. He was I think his name's George Christie, the former president of the Ventura Hells Angels chapter back, I think, in the 80s or the 70s. And he told a story like that about somebody wanted some special kind of hamburger from somewhere, and I need you to get it up here by a certain time in San Francisco, and you're in LA and they don't sell these hamburgers. Hopefully one of you guys knows the story. So somebody went in. Somebody went ahead. I guess what he did is, maybe it was him, got on an airplane and flew it up there and brought him the hamburger while it was still warm. And I guess he didn't tell him that he took a plane there. They just assumed that he rode his bike. And he said, hey, look, man, nobody told me that I had to ride my bike. They just said, get it here. So I thought that was a pretty cool story. Give me a bunch of ones if you think that's a cool story.
biggest dude you have ever seen is holding an axe handle, and you got to get that axe handle out his hands to get fully patched. There's many things that motorcycle clubs come up with. Let me know in the comments the craziest ones you've ever heard. I got another video where I talk about the 8 motorcycle club members you will meet. It'll be linked above. And thank you for tuning in to Demons Road TV, the holy grail of MC culture. Like, subscribe, and comment. No,
Ghost,
yeah.
baby.
We ghosting, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Awesome. Now, you guys can't tell me that is got to be some of the coolest video. This guy really Zos the Ghost. This guy has some cool video, right, guys? So basically, the idea behind this show today, obviously, is to show you some of the cool stuff from Zos the Ghost from Demon's Row, but also to talk to you a little bit about the outlaw lifestyle, because bikers, a lot of them want to live outside the law, and people who are standing up for their Fifth Amendment rights, right, the right to remain silent, that's what bikers do. They're just standing up for the right to remain silent. They stand up for Fourth Amendment rights. They don't, get away from me. If you don't have a warrant, get away from me. That's what they're all about. So they're all about the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Although they might be outlaws, in other words, they're living outside the normal municipal type people, they are trying to say, we'll live under our own system and you live under yours. You leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. And I know that you've seen, a few news stories here and there that show that there are some things that can go wrong with those clubs, but I'm not here to glorify them. What I'm trying to do is talk to you about they're more pro civil rights than you think. They really are more pro civil rights than you think. That's all I'm pointing out. They stand on their rights to keep silent, to be secure in their personal effects, and to travel to and from unmolested, to go from point A to point B unmolested. And because of that stance that they've taken, they are targeted. And in Texas in particular, the government's doing everything they can to go after the Second Amendment rights of motorcycle club members. They're trying to say that they're all gang members, and if they have a gun on them, and there's a fist fight or something, they'll try to say it's a felon in possession of a weapon or a violent crime, while they're engaged in a gang activity, that kind of stuff, right? So it's getting really, really scary. And you see the clampdown on people who are like-minded and freedom-loving. If you look at the audience of people who support freedom, independence, the Bill of Rights, if you look at their audiences on YouTube and other channels, you'll see that it's mostly people who are like 40 and up. The other people they've been taught in the school system that we're all just oppressors, and there's oppressors and victims, and everything should be free. And that's kind of what people are telling me. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Justice, that's right. There are a lot of bikers in Texas. I was just there a little while ago, and it was pretty cool. I really like Texas, and people, in fact, if you guys ever get down there, you got to get a steak. I mean, if you want to have a steak, Texas is the place to go. That stuff is just pretty much I think I had one at a place called Texas Roadhouse. And I would say that, it's almost like, if you're going to go to Hawaii, you got to have some pineapple. If you're going to go to Texas, you got to have a steak. It's kind of one of those deals. Give me a bunch of ones if you like steak. By the way, guys, I'm sorry I couldn't join you last night. I've just been overwhelmed, buried, but I love having you on the channel. Now, I need to know what other topics you guys would like me to talk about. I like talking about cool stuff, even stuff like this. If you have any videos of bikers being harassed by police, that's the kind of stuff we need to be talking about. Nobody deserves to be harassed because they choose to identify as belonging to an organization that wants to be left alone. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with that. Yeah, ribeye. I think ribeye is the best, actually. In fact, I'm thinking about going and grabbing some ribeye pretty soon. Hold on one second. I got to talk to my son really quick here. He's heading off to judo. Give me 1 second, guys. What's up, Johnny? Yep. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. My son's just going off to judo right now, and he just got back from El Salvador, and he walks in with his gi, and it's like this, right? And the sleeves are all short. This little dude grew like almost an inch in less than a month. He's just springing up like crazy. I'm super happy for him. Man, that's awesome. All right, but sorry I had to abandon you guys for a minute. So yes, love me some Texas Roadhouse Stompers, some of the best stuff ever. So do you guys kind of understand where I'm going with this? The Texas bikers and the bikers in different states, no matter where they are, they all have a code that they live by. And it is basically that they take care of each other. They don't involve law enforcement, and they just kind of want to be left alone. And that is a really big threat to the administrative state, as you could imagine. And so as a result of that, they get harassed unreasonably in the same way that First Amendment auditors get harassed and cop watchers get harassed. And so I just thought that it was appropriate, because a lot of my audience are big time cop watchers, and we got BZ Watchdog. He's a big time post office watcher, auditor. And these are also similar things are also happening and have happened for years to the bikers. And you're being looked at by the administrative state. Anybody who stands up for their rights, shops at Dick's Sporting Goods, Cabela's, a March 4th report issued by Congress showed that the FBI has been illegally spying on Americans, circumventing the warrant process by forming a public-private partnership with a company in order to data mine all of your purchase data. And so what they've been doing is, if you buy guns, or you buy too many guns, or if you use the wrong words like FJB in your internet posts and things like that, you'll be targeted as a potential domestic violent extremist. And what's sad about this and scary about this is they're doing it through the banking system. So now you have a problem of, because the government's doing it, and these are the banks that would normally loan people money, they're being scared and intimidated by the government from doing business with people who stand up for their rights. So again, guys, I tell you, the best thing you can do is to form parallel systems of like-minded people, starting with people in your sidebar right here, and do business with them. And just do business with them. If one of you guys has a dairy farm, I'll pay extra to have your freaking milk flown in to me, right? If somebody is a shoe repairman, I'll have my shoes flown to your state to have them repaired, and pay a little bit extra money because I want to support your business, because you're like-minded and we're in a parallel system where we want to support each other. And if you look at the bikers, they have formulated over time a pretty decent process of filtering out the bad from the good and getting the loyal ones. And that's what you want. And so the fact that you guys are here, and you can see my paid members in my paid member community, I set it up like military, like you're a Lance Corporal once you get in, because I figure you guys have already made PFC if you're in my sidebar. Because BZ and Let's OTVOers, they're going to kick you guys out. So that's step one, right? I kind of have it set up like a biker club. You got my main guys who are already patches, and they're in here filtering to make sure that we don't have a bunch of, crummy people trying to get into our club. And so it doesn't bother me that sometimes I only have 40 or 50 people, because I know you guys are solid. So that's the same kind of deal, guys. Yes, they sure are. Diesel for We the People News. So Diesel, man, I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother. If you are interested in helping me, because I'm really, I don't have all the research time that I used to have, but if you're interested in helping me, let's do a show together where we maybe do a Google slideshow and talk about, basically, let's start with the foundation, what the Amish are about, how they're exempted from Social Security. And of course, we know that the left hates that, because they want everybody to be totally dependent upon the government from cradle to grave. That's how they stay in power, right? And the Amish wanted out of that system, and bikers want out of that system. And most of the guys and girls in my audience want out of that system too. Not because they don't like the fact that we have a system in general, but the fact that the system has been co-opted by unchaste individuals. And I think we all know that. Give me a bunch of ones if you know what I'm talking about, guys. Look at Gavin Newsom, Harvey Milk Day. Are you kidding me? The Safety Act, taking away the rights of parents so they can secretly so public school teachers can keep secrets. Look it up, the Safety Act. Unbelievable. Now look, so Stomper says, it talks about the bikers. So I think Stomper, Justice 111, Justice 111, I think is pro biker. What do you guys say? Give me a bunch of ones if Justice 1111 is pro biker. Let me see it, guys. Okay, and that's also Kurt. I got a text or something from Gloria that she has been blocked from my chats. So I have not done that. So I'm hoping that like my mods didn't do that, because she's like one of my best members and I really like her. She's actually a paid member of my community. So I'll go in tonight and I'll take a look at my settings to see if she's been placed in the blocked area. But man, I hope not. I hope you guys don't block her, man. She's never done anything wrong. She's super cool. So you guys are like family to me. We've been doing this for many months, and I talk to a lot of my members on the phone, like daily, and text them, and they're in other states. And it's not because they're sending me a case or something, because I do this as aside, separate and apart from my work as a personal injury lawyer in California and Texas. But yeah, I do get a lot of motorcycle accident cases. And guess why? Because on my website, it says former Marine attorney. And so bikers, as a general rule, when they're looking for a lawyer, they'll look for stuff like that. Why? Because they want to make sure that this person that they're hiring has a basic understanding of brotherhood, has a basic understanding of what it is to keep your word and be honorable. And they look for Marines, of course, because they know that that's what we're all about. Being a Marine, that's what it's all about. It's about the look. It's about the bearing. I mean, it's about not putting your hands in your pockets. It's about not chewing gum when you're walking around. It's about being squared away at all times. Hell yeah, Ralph Riley. Thanks for kicking off the super chat. Hey, that's badass. Ralph says he's a 1%er Mennonite biker. So Ralph, let me ask you this, brother. So can you be like an independent 1%er biker? And if so, would you have to be a nomad? Could you wear a bottom rocker without being, risking, a bottom rocker like California, for example? Because I'm not a 1%. I don't know everything about it. I don't profess to be. Obviously, I think me and most guys like me, kind of secretly all wish we were, but for whatever reason, that just didn't happen. But the good news is people like that have me to represent them as a lawyer. And I think also they don't even allow lawyers in 1% biker clubs. I think we can be supporters, but I think if you're a lawyer, they don't even let you in because you're part of the system, like an officer of the court. Very similar to the sovereign movement, right, guys, where they just hate lawyers because they're members of the bar or whatnot. But my loyalty is to the Constitution and to my people. So I just think that that's a misnomer. But I think it's good that they have that standard. I'm not trying to get them to change their standard. I think that's a good standard. You shouldn't change your standards. You shouldn't lower standards. Give me a bunch of ones if you don't think we should lower standards. Holy crap, Chevy. Dude, Chevy just threw me a tenner. So it looks like Gunner's going to get like black belt, but this will be his brown belt now, I guess. You guys all have really good things to say. But no, Kurt, I have mic. You guys can hear me, right? I mean, I have full mic. I should. I don't understand. So are you telling me you can't hear me? Let me try and figure out what's going on with my audio here. Testing. It says my audio is working. I don't know what's going on. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what happened, guys. It's and you know what? Sometimes I'll get silenced, and it won't show that my mic is off. And I'm thinking it's YouTube that's doing it. But I don't know, man. Oh, thanks, Ralph. Dude, Ralph just threw me another $2. I really appreciate it, Ralph. Hey, Ralph, when are we gonna do a lawyer reaction video to one of your videos? You got some pretty cool videos. Guys, check out Ralph Riley's channel sometime. He's got some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that too. Let's see here. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, guys, but I'm doing everything I can to try to not have that problem ever happen again. So what did you guys think of Zos the Ghost? Pretty cool, or do you guys want to see more cool biker videos by Zos, or are you already burned out on Zos?
Somebody just
because I think he's got some cool stuff. If you like him, I mean, because I like him, we could chat a little bit more and see what Zos got to say about bikers' wives. Are you guys interested in learning about bikers' wives? I mean, while we're here, I got a few more minutes. We could talk about it. BZ wants to see.
sent me this clip. Whose old lady is this? This is crazy right here.
This bullshit right here? Yeah. You remember that time that my husband was in it? And I put your bitch ass little fucking cut on? Yeah? Oh, I think you wanted these patches, right? Cool. You want to fuck with my husband? Get him put away for 12 years? That's what we're going to say about that. Right fucking there. Come get his patches now, bitches. All fucking yours. You got a lighter? Hand me that brown paper bag up there. Kinfolk is nothing but a bunch of rats, cops, snitches, and bitches. And that's what I think about your fucking cousin.
Holy moly, man. She's crazy.
In this episode, we talk about a veteran biker that had a run-in with a 1%er. What is a 1%er? It is a member of a diamond club, an outlaw motorcycle club that wears that diamond with the 1 in it. We're going to break down his footage and let you know why all this happened on this episode of Demons Row TV. And oh yeah, we ghosting, baby.
Yeah.
Big shout to the ghosts and the ghost sets.
Yeah.
Welcome to Demons Row TV,
Yeah.
the holy grail of MC culture, where we cover everything motorcycle and motorcycle club involved. I'm Sos the Ghost. I'm your host for the evening. Real quick, big shout out to Frost, New York for the amazing Demons Row ring. I appreciate y'all for that. So we're going to break down this footage from a veteran biker, and the name of his channel is Marine Rider. He is somebody that is part of the Demons Row community. So go to his channel, support the wave, and let's break down this footage and see why this happened. We've talked a lot about patches over the years. We talk about respect for the military and how clubs came and stemmed from military lifestyle, the brothers that came home. And also I want to say thank you for your service to everybody out there that does that puts their life on the line. A lot of people have been saying lately, Pride gets a whole month. Why did the Marines, why did the veterans, the Navy, the Air Force, why do these people that put
I like
their
this
lives
guy.
on the line only get 1 day? It doesn't make sense, but let's break down this footage.
Motorcycle gear outlet, and as we're getting ready to leave,
All right, so I'm going to take a vote. You guys want to watch the rest of this with me? We can. I know BZ wants to get the F out of here, but anybody who wants to watch it can watch it here with me. Otherwise, you got to go over to Demon's Row and watch it. But it's the name of the video is 1%. If I see a bunch of ones, I'll stay in and we can watch it together. If not, I'm gonna go grab some chow. So you guys just tell me how you want to go with it. All right, looks like Forrest wants to watch it. Kurt wants. All right, that's it. I got my homies want to watch it. We're watching it. You hear that, Zos? They want to watch it.
A buddy of mine, he has his vest on as well. An older gentleman approached me and came up and said, "Who do I ride with?" And I said, "I ride with a bunch of friends, hang out, a bunch of military guys most of the time, and we just get out, ride, and enjoy." And he said, "Oh, okay. I was looking at your vest and trying to figure out what group you rode with." And I said, "Yep, I just ride with a bunch of guys and hang out."
Okay, so let's take a closer look at his vest. You see the American flag, that's love. It says NOLA. All right, so everything else looks good, but that one thing in the middle, that diamond-shaped patch. Now, if you earn your stuff in the military, you earned it. This patch right here probably caught a 1%er's eye because it had a diamond.
Hey, hold up. So BZ, why don't you tell us what that diamond is on his vest if you're still there? Because I think I'm pretty sure I see what it is. See the skull in the middle of that thing there, BZ? Hopefully he's still here. So if anybody wants to tell me what it is, go ahead and tell me what it is. If BZ's gone, that's fine. Tell me what that is right now. What is that? What is that on that guy's vest? You see that yellow? You see that? I'm going to go ahead and put my... See that right there, guys? You guys see that? Let me come back over here. Let me see in the sidebar. What? BZ. You see the diamond right here where the mouse is? See the skull right there in the center of the diamond with the stars on the outside? Doesn't that look like force reconnaissance to you? Like first force? Tell me. Dude, let me try to blow it up. Hold up. I think that's as big as I can get it, man. But it literally looks like it says force reconnaissance right there, or Marine Raiders. But that is the swift, silent, and deadly skull with the diamond right there. It's just that it's not blue. It's yellow. I think so. Yeah, I think it is. Anybody else? We're gonna keep watching it.
I'm in patch on it. It's a different era. A lot more people are part of the culture than just military. So this diamond right here probably caught his eye. Some people get on an ego trip. Others just want to know what it means, but they don't really know how to ask.
Just ride with a bunch of guys and hang out and have a good time. I said, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Well, I'll let my guys know you're in the area." And I'm thinking, that makes no sense to me. So I asked him, I said, "Why would you let your guys know that we're in the area? We're just two guys on a bike with vests that have just military patches on it, and that is all." And I said, "I understand MC protocol." I said, "Are you in an MC?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And I won't name the MC he said he was part of. But when he told me that, I said, "Okay." I was like, as far as I know, I'm pretty well versed in MC protocol. I've seen many MC bylaws.
Sorry,
I've been in
man.
an association. I tried to follow MC
Ralph's
bylaws.
making me feel guilty.
And so I told him, I said, "I understand MC culture. I understand the protocol." And I said, "As far as I understand, I don't have anything MC on my vest. I'm not claiming any territory. I don't have any markings as far as Pennsylvania, Maryland, or anything like that."
So this guy knows what he's talking about. No territories, no bottom rocker. This is someone that knows what they're talking about, and they handle the situation the right way with respect.
And that's when I told him, I said, so I think I'm in the clear as far as that goes. He said, no, you're right. He's like, military patches are acceptable just as long as you're not claiming a territory or anything like that. And I said, okay, well then I'm trying to understand why you're letting your guys know that we're in the area. And he said, "Oh, it's just part of just part of common courtesy."
So me personally, what I think the reason why he said he would let people know is probably because of that diamond patch.
Yeah.
I think the dude was just trying to see what was up, and maybe he didn't really know if that was military stuff or not.
And I'm thinking, are these guys actually going to approach us if they see?
Hey, nice bike, right? Triumph. I mean, that's a classy bike. And look, he looks like he's at a graveyard cemetery. So this is what a lot of bikers do, and they're not all outlaw bikers, guys. They're not all one percenters, but like most of the bikers I know hang out and do memorial events and do stuff for veterans. They help me raise money for guys with cancer who are Marines who lost their wives or kids or whatever, can't support themselves. So the biker community has been really active, like one of the only people out there of groups of people who actively go balls to the walls for the military veteran community. And so I really just think that all you guys should give it a second thought. Let's look at this guy, how cool he is.
See U.S. military patches? Probably not. So I don't know if this guy was kind of boasting a little bit just because he saw two guys with vests on and whatnot. First time I actually had that interaction. And I've been hearing more and more on YouTube about those encounters. Covered it on Demon Rose TV. With on
Demon's
YouTube.
Row. Right on
those.
those.
On MC Protocol.
Shout to the Marine Rider for showing some love.
Hell yeah.
Because a lot of people steal my graphics, steal my whole entire swag and style, and they don't pay homage to me. And he shows some love right there, so I appreciate you.
Hell no, dude. Straight up, everybody right now, everybody on my channel, everybody. I got like 7,000 something subscribers. Please, I'm not gonna like force you or whatever, but please like and subscribe to Demon's Row. This dude is really cool. And I do see all these channels copying his stuff. I think it's really uncool, but they'll never be able to be like this guy. This is like one of these guys. He's almost like the Chili De Castro of the biker world, in my opinion, in his own way. I'm trying to zoom in, brother, but it looks like it's first force. Ralph Riley gave me $2, said, zoom in on the damn patch, Mike. Ralph, man, you're killing me. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to try. Well, look, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play this through, and then I'll go back, and I'll figure out another way to zoom in on that bad chicken. All right, guys, because you guys deserve. Oh, check it out. Gunner Eline, I can't zoom in. You're doing it wrong. All right, guys. So the next one we do, we're going to do horizontal. All right. The next one we do, we'll do horizontal instead of vertical. All right. We'll do that. We'll do that hopefully tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm experimenting, checking it out. I guess it's sort of a battle between getting the people coming in from the live stream feed, which you don't get unless you go vertical, and then keeping your old audience happy. You know what I'm saying? And now I know there's a way that you can do it vertical and horizontal, and that's ultimately what I would like to do. I think you can only do that through like OBZ or something. But if any of you guys know how to do that using StreamYard, please let me know, because there's a lot of older people that are like my age that prefer the horizontal, and then like 90% of people under 20 or like 30 are going vertical, and because they're all on their phones. So I don't, and they have phones where it's easier for them to chat. Like the Androids have a totally way better chat feature that sort of like syncs in with YouTube, whereas the Apples don't. So it's harder for you to chat. So I'm still experimenting, but like Brick Jonesy said, give the people what they want. Okay, I get it. And Watkins Inc. says, honestly, bikers kind of scare me, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'll be honest with you, I've walked up to Hell's Angels, guys who are in the Vagos, guys who are in Mongols, just out in public, and just said, hi, nice bike or whatever. And they're totally cool. They're just normal people. They have different protocols. You're not a brother, so they're not going to afford you the same type of respect they're going to give to a brother. But for the most part, they just leave people alone. They don't want to draw any more attention to themselves than their bikes already give them with the loud pipes, right? They're not looking for that kind of attention. It's not what people think. I'm telling you right now. And then Ralph has given me two more dollars saying, stop the vertical. Okay, I get the message, bro. We're going to do a horizontal tomorrow night, okay? Hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the next day. But we'll do it, man. Yeah, and then Watkins says, I've met bikers before, and yeah, they're very polite. Yeah, they are. And, you know, they just have a different code, and they look maybe kind of scary. But back in the 80s, when there were, you know, only just a few bodybuilders, everybody was terrified of them. And they probably thought that a bodybuilder could beat up a guy like Hoist Gracie, right? They weren't intimidated by Hoist Gracie. But I guess the point of this conversation is looks can be deceiving, right? Like you could still be a guy in a business suit and be more terrifying than the most terrifying biker. You just don't know who you're dealing with. But the bikers codes have a protocol. They have a sergeant at arms. They have a president. They got a VP. They got all these different people in place to enforce good order and discipline. And that's what everybody needs, especially men, because God just built us different. We have higher the testosterone. You know how guys are, you know, we're just more violent, and we need leadership from the more mature males. That's how a strong society, a strong foundation is built. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, Brett Ray wants me to do elder veteran abuse. You're on. By the way, guys. All right. I just filed my dad's wrongful death claim for Agent Orange because he died from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I'm working with Ed Bell back east. He's the guy who helped draft the PACT Act. You have until August to file your claim. If anybody you know in your family or your friends has cancer, has died of cancer or a related disease from Agent Orange exposure or exposure to toxic substances at Camp Lejeune or burn pits over in Iraq or Afghanistan, please reach out to BZ Watchdog and he'll give you my contact information. Just tell him that you're reaching out because you want to talk about the PACT Act, and he'll just give you my cell, and then you can text me because I'm going to be in meetings usually in the daytime, but I will reach out to you and I will help you get your claim filed. Now, this isn't a veteran's claim for benefits. This is a lawsuit that you can bring for the tort of medical, negligence for toxic exposure or for things of that nature that cause you to have cancer or wrongful death if someone in your family died from it. And this will usually help the females most because the wives usually give up their jobs to take care of their ailing husbands. And then a 50-year-old woman, good luck her getting a job. There's so much discrimination when it comes to women in the employment. They always want to have the young, attractive bimbo because they think it's going to help them, and it probably does. But the more experienced one, it probably is going to be better for your bottom line. And it doesn't matter though, because that's not what happens. They don't have anybody looking after these ladies. And when the husband dies, unless he's medically retired from the military, your veterans benefits go away, guys. So that means your wife doesn't have anything. And so the PACT Act is one way to help the wives and families get a little bit of money. Like I think that my dad's case is probably worth $400,000 or $500,000. Your case might be worth more, maybe less, but who knows? You should file it. I'll help you. So I will write that in the community. You can also go to the Paul Eline Bride, pauleline.org. I have a military veterans nonprofit that I set up with a bunch of bikers, Marines, and I'm going to be drafting proposed legislation to get the PACT Act for the military veterans on the West Coast. So, because right now, Camp Pendleton, El Toro, MCASH, Tustin, all those toxic dump sites where people have the same diseases as the people at Camp Lejeune, they don't get those same benefits. The families can't sue. So I'm trying to get the local congressman in California to get on board and help me out and push this through. So I invite you to help support the Paul Eline Memorial Ride too, because I raise money to get these laws passed and to help you guys take care of your families, because that's what really matters to me. I work as a lawyer. I help people in car and motorcycle accidents. I love doing that, but my heart and soul is with all of you veterans and your families who are suffering and who are lied to to convince the country to go to war, and now you're suffering, and your wives are suffering after you passed away. And I just think it's tragic, because you're the people who really matter most, at least to me. And now, yeah, free chili. Justice 111. Now, oh wow, Watkins Inc. says an honorary Hell's Angels friend of mine, Iron Man, who has passed away, told me to stay away from them, and I don't exactly why, but he was military and an elder. Well, who knows? You know, and look, each chapter is going to be different too. Like I'm telling you right now, I've hung out with several different chapters, and they're all different. They all have their totally different personalities, and I like them all. But I formed a real strong bond with the Leathernecks Peacemaker chapter out in Texas and Houston. Their chapter president, and you guys have all met Howard. He's their VP. He was a Navy SEAL. So the Leathernecks let Navy corpsmen and of course Marines only in the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club, the original Leathernecks. And since Howard was a corpsman, but he also happened to be a Navy SEAL, but they don't care about the fact that he's a Navy SEAL. They care about the fact that he was a combat corpsman and he sewed up Marines. And so Marines consider corpsmen to be just exactly like a Marine, but a little bit higher up. The corpsman will be the one they form a defensive perimeter around when heavy fire is coming in. They always look after the dock. That's what we call them. And give me a bunch of ones if you know what I'm talking about. There's a real strong camaraderie there. That's why I really, really love Eddie Gallagher. And I also want you to think about supporting Chief Gallagher and FAFO, his brand and all that stuff. His son just became a Marine, just graduated boot camp about 6 months ago, and he was a Navy SEAL, SEAL Team 7, I believe, and or maybe it was 3, but I think it was 7. Legit dude, was illegally spied on by the government while he was under investigation for crimes he was acquitted of, and the FBI was illegally spying on him and his attorneys and their communications. And it's just another example of the administrative state gone wild, these administrative agencies who think they're above we the people, and we need to find a way to form parallel systems to be less reliant on those types of systems that allow that to happen to begin with. I'm just hoping you guys can understand. And I'm sure that Chief Gallagher would love it if you guys would go and join his channels and join his different channels on Instagram and YouTube. And Chief Gallagher was a combat corpsman, and he was the first Navy SEAL to go through Marine Corps sniper training, state platoon, I believe. So that's pretty cool stuff. Let's go ahead and see a little bit more about what Zosta Ghost has to say. Yeah, Gallagher's the man. I really love Gallagher. Zosta Ghost.
Go check out his channel, The Marine Rider, and show him some love.
And I follow a couple other guys. I've rode with groups before, associations, and we've always been respectful. And that biggest thing to me is, you know, respect given is respect earned, and that's what I always try to do when I go out on my bike.
Yeah,
is I always try to give respect to any individual out there, and would expect the same in return. Not to say that I felt disrespected by this older gentleman. It's just something I thought I should bring up. If any other veterans have encounters like that, you know, you may get worried or whatever, but there's nothing to worry about out there, I don't believe.
So the way he handled this was smooth and OG like.
Yep.
If it was another scenario and this 1%er was drunk, and let's say this veteran was drunk and he was a hothead and the 1%er was a hothead, he could have asked him about, you know, his patches or whatever. He would have had an attitude, whatever. Next time he's with all his bros, it could be an issue. You never know. So when you handle it with respect and you stand tall, it's the best way to do it. Let me know in the comments any situations you ever had with a 1%er coming up to you, you know, asking you questions about patches or something, you know, involving protocol. If you want to support the role, get your Ghost Savelli mask now. They're on www.demonsroad.com. I got another video where I talk about 1%er patch meanings, patches you should not wear. And oh yeah, we ghosting, baby.
And awesome. Look at this, man. Yeah.
So Jay Leno just threw shots at
Hey, hold on, man. You guys want to watch this one? He's going to make fun of Orange County Chopper. You guys want to see? Give me a bunch of ones if you want to watch the Orange County Chopper. Him ripping apart Orange County Chopper with the Jay Leno video. Hey, stand down, Justice and Watkins. Give me some ones to get back on track. You guys are all here because we're all brothers and sisters here. We all care about each other, right? Because we ghosting, baby. Do you want to watch this Jay Leno video? Come on. Square yourselves away, Marines. Hurry up. All right, here we're going to watch this bad chicken. Let's do it.
Paul Sr. from Orange County Choppers. We're going to check out that clip. But if I was you, Jay, I'd be very careful because that man is gunned up. That man is in the gym and ready. Check this out.
You had one from OCC, right?
Oh, that's the biggest piece of junk. It's, you know something? I was so stunned at how bad it was built. So I was riding it, and it stops on me, and I realized the electrical system is fused through the rear taillight. So if the rear taillight breaks or blows out, the whole bike stops. I thought it was dangerous. It didn't stop. Geometry, the steering, it was just, yeah. I mean, they were meant to be. You build one for the fire department, it looks like a fire engine. You build one for the postal service, it looks like a mail carrier or something. But as motorcycles, the ride just horrible.
Well, hopefully the Tuttles honored your warranty on that one.
No, thank you.
They're down by me now in Clearwater.
So this biker right here gets confronted by a police officer for having a "Cops Are Gay" sticker. Check this out.
Drive this road, you work every day from Columbus back here, and you don't know what the speed limit is on this road?
I'll just go a little bit faster than the flow of traffic. It's the safest speed of travel.
And then you're basically saying, hey, cops are gay, but just about. Just explain it to me.
It sounds like any cop that pulls me over is probably gay.
What are you trying to say?
It was a joke.
Wait a minute. I know who you are. You're the little guy that you did the burnouts.
The jumpsuit.
You were the
Convict.
bad guy.
Yeah.
I know, but do you see how disrespectful that is?
I'm not trying to disrespect.
I mean, for me, it's like, give me $800 worth of tickets and prove a point to you. Yeah, it's not going to be disrespectful to law enforcement anymore.
Well, there you go. Hey,
I mean, it's not hard.
How do you like that, guys? I mean, you got a cop right there on live TV saying, I'm just going to violate your rights and take away all your money because you're disrespecting me. So talk about a legalized gang. Guys, that is why so many people are so upset about what's going on out there. We've got all these government employees running wild, like the old Girls Gone Wild videos from the 80s, but wild and drunk with tax-funded power. And that's just another example. So you can kind of see why I kind of like bikers and outlaw lifestyle and kind of what they're about, because you can see they support a lot of what me and my audience supports, which is freedom to be left alone, freedom to roam, wherever I may roam, like that Metallica song, wherever I may wander, or that like that, right? That's it, man. That's the deal. Let's watch some more of this, guys. You want to watch more, or do you guys want to leave? Looks like we still have about 40 people in here. Give me a bunch of ones if you want me to play some more. Zos the Ghost with the mostest, dopest videos on the planet. And if anybody knows how to do production like that to help me do some badass freaking stuff like he's done for my brand, dude, I'll give you free legal advice for whatever you need, That right there, that music, the way he set that up, that's inspiring. Let's check him out some more, guys. You want to? All right, let's do it.
Hard for us to ask you, man. I mean, it was about 2 weeks ago when I stopped you. I mean, I know you got 5 minutes of time to take it off there.
So my man right here definitely will be getting a.
He was just shot. So as I finished the sentence, I clipped him right in the chin. When I clipped him in the chin, he dropped. But when I clipped him, I had a 38. The 38 fell out of my belt. So when he dropped,
that's the
he
president of the
right on that 38. Oh. So now all of a sudden it's a fumble. It's a football fumble, and the football is a 38, and we're fighting for the ball. So we're wrestling for this thing, and I get it. The minute I get it, he got up and he was trying to get the out of there. He was yelling. He was going, and I had that gun out, and all these things were going through my mind. Don't do it. Do it. Don't do it. The only thing I could think about at that millisecond was everything that had brought us to this point with these guys. All the beatings, all them shooting at us, all the shit and jingles and Redbeard, everything had come to and Woody was next to me. And like I'm saying, this guy's a prospect. And I mean, how many prospects are going to fight next to their national president? It was just me and him. So what happens is he gets clipped and he goes down. So now it's just me. All the guys are down, just me and Woody's down. So I try to fight. I got an eye on him. I'm watching, and he's got his hands up. They're stomping him out pretty good, and he's got it covered. I could see it turning and stuff. Then all of a sudden they kick him once, and his hands go to his side, and he's no longer defending himself. So I'm thinking they're going to kill this guy, man. So what I did was I fell on top of him and covered his head with my body. Wow. And I'm telling him this whole time, I said, don't die. I said, don't die. I said, keep breathing, keep breathing. I said, I'm here. So while this was going on, they were stomping me out like a cigarette. My ribs were busted.
All right, so that was kind of cool for you guys to see that. That was Junior Erickson, I believe. And I think that he was a president of, maybe it was the San Diego Mongols, one of their chapters. Again, I'm not a big 1%, but I know about this guy because of Demon's Row, because Ghost to Ghost has some cool videos on him. But it just, look at that, guys. I mean, how can you not respect brotherhood like that, where you're willing to sacrifice your life for a brother? You're only going to find that in very few places in this world. Maybe the Marines, the French Foreign Legion, maybe. By the way, I have Taylor Kavanaugh. He is a former Navy SEAL who, I think he's the only Navy SEAL who ever also became a French Foreign Legionnaire. And he's going to be doing a live stream with me from Nevada, hopefully in a couple of weeks. So that'll be a really cool one. But the point I'm trying to make is I try to, bring you guys that old flavor of masculine strength, self-reliance, less government means more freedom. The stuff that we grew up on back in the 80s, less government means more freedom. And this Zos the Ghost guy is kind of inspiring to me. You guys want to keep watching? You guys want to keep watching more of this, or are we going to give me a bunch of ones if you want to watch a little bit more of Zos? Otherwise, we've been doing this for about an hour and 30 minutes. So I ain't mad at you if you want to bone out. I'm staying here for you guys because I got a bunch of super chats. So I figure at least I can justify to my wife, hey, I got some super chats. So will you not yell at me now that I'm not tutoring the kids? So just let me know. All right. Looks like we got, get something to eat. Okay. So Kurt's telling me I got to bone out. So here, guys, here's the deal. I need to know what you guys want me to talk about. One of my members, I think Brett Ray, said veteran elder abuse. Everybody who wants me to do that, please send me a link through the michaeleline.com contact form or something like that, or through BZ. And he'll just give you my contact info. If you can do that for me, I'll put something together and try to get something out that's good. Hopefully I'll have some time to get it done in advance. Other than that, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that smash button, smash that like and subscribe button. And yeah, I'm hungry for a steak too, man. So Mr. DLRU says, I don't know why, but I'm hungry for a steak. I'm gone. Yeah, I was mentioning a steak. I think I'm going to get me a steak too, guys. That's funny. And Brett, I did a really cool video, a short, a couple of them on judo. And I recommend all you guys who are younger to get your kids, if you have younger kids, get them into judo. What a great sport, because it teaches you that discipline and that samurai spirit. So anyways, that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. So Semper Fi, do or die.